Before he was an oil man, John D. Rockefeller was a bookkeeper and an aspiring investor, a small-time financier in Cleveland, Ohio. The son of a criminal who'd abandoned his family, the young Rockefeller took his first job in 1855 at the age of 16, a day he celebrated as Job Day for the rest of his life. All was well enough at 50 cents a day. Then the panic struck, specifically the Panic of 1857, a massive national financial crisis that originated in Ohio and hit Cleveland particularly hard. As businesses failed and the price of grain plummeted across the country, westward expansion came quickly to a halt. The result was a crippling depression that lasted for several years. Rockefeller could have gotten scared. Here was the greatest market depression in history, and it hit him just as he was finally getting the hang of things. Could have pulled out and run like his father. He could have quit finance altogether for a different career with less risk. But even as a young man, Rockefeller had sang-froid, unflappable coolness under pressure. He could keep his head while he was losing his shirt. Better yet, he kept his head while everyone else lost theirs. And so instead of bemoaning this economic upheaval, Rockefeller eagerly observed the momentous events. Almost perversely, he chose to look at it as an opportunity to learn, a baptism in the market. He quietly saved his money and watched what others did wrong. He saw the weaknesses in the economy that many took for granted and how this left them all unprepared for change or shocks. He internalized an important lesson that would stay with him forever. The market was inherently unpredictable and often vicious. Only a rational and disciplined mind could hope to profit from it. Speculation led to disaster, he realized, and he needed to always ignore the mad crowd and its inclinations. Rockefeller immediately put those insights to use. At 25, a group of investors offered to put up approximately $500,000 at his disposal if he could find the right oil wells in which to deploy the money. Grateful for the opportunity, Rockefeller set out to tour the nearby oil fields. A few days later, he shocked his backers by returning to Cleveland empty-handed, not having spent or invested $1 of the funds. The opportunity didn't feel right to him at the time, no matter how excited the rest of the market was, so he refunded the money and stayed away from drilling. It was this intense self-discipline and objectivity that allowed Rockefeller to seize advantage from obstacle after obstacle in his life during the Civil War and the panics of 1873, 1907, and even 1929. As he once put it, he was inclined to see the opportunity in every disaster. To that, we could add he had the strength to resist temptation or excitement, no matter how seductive, no matter the situation. Within 20 years of that first crisis, Rockefeller alone would control 90% of the oil market. His greedy competitors had perished. His nervous colleagues had sold their shares and left the business. His weak-hearted doubters had missed out. For the rest of his life, the greater the chaos, the calmer Rockefeller would become, particularly when others around him were either panicked or mad with greed. He would make much of his fortune during these market fluctuations because he could see while others could not. This insight lives on today in Warren Buffett's famous adage, to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Rockefeller, like all great investors, could resist impulse in favor of cold, hard common sense. One activist described the Standard Oil Trust as a mythical protean creature, capable of metamorphizing with every attempt by competitors or the government to dismantle it. They meant this as criticism, and they had a point, but even this critique in his clearly illegal monopoly tells us something of Rockefeller's personality. He was resilient, adaptable, calm, always growing, hard to pin down. He could not be rattled, not by economic crisis, not by a glittering mirage of false opportunities, not by aggressive bullying enemies, not even by federal prosecutors for whom he was a notoriously difficult witness to cross-examine, never rising to take the bait or defend himself or get upset. This is what great investors cultivate, a rational self-command that allows them to see what others can't, to size up situations and anticipate what's coming next, and then to take advantage of it.